It was 1:03 a.m. when the pounding on my door shattered the silence. Not a gentle knock. Not a visitor. No. It was the kind of frantic, broken beating only a soul in danger makes. My hands trembled as I reached for the lock. I remember thinking maybe it was a stray drunk, or thieves, or, God forbid, something worse. But when the door opened, and the porch light spilled onto the figure before me, I forgot how to breathe. My daughter, Emily, stood hunched, bruised, swollen, blood soaking through her blouse, her hair stuck to her cheeks with tears. She collapsed forward like a dying bird, and I caught her, my old bones fighting gravity, because a mother never lets her child fall. Not even at 72. I dragged her inside with strength I didn't know was still in me. Her lips quivered. Her voice was barely human. Mom. He hit me. Because I found out about her. I had nowhere else to go. My heart didn't just break, it shattered, shards cutting deeper with every word she managed to breathe. But this isn't a story about heartbreak. It's a story about what that heartbreak turned me into. Because that night, while my daughter bled on my living room floor, I stopped being just a mother. I became something colder, sharper, more dangerous. I became vengeance. Before this night, I was simply Mary Whitlock. Widow. Retired seamstress. A woman who spent mornings tending roses and evenings knitting by soft lamplight. People saw me as gentle, harmless. The sweet old lady who baked pies for church gatherings. And for the most part, they were right. My daughter Emily, 38, the sunshine of my later years, had married Thomas Hale 6 years earlier. He was handsome, charming, articulate. A banker who wore success like tailored silk. Emily adored him. I tolerated him. Something about the chill behind his smile always unsettled me. But my daughter insisted he loved her. And so I stayed silent. A mother's silence is a dangerous thing. It grows. It festers. And when it finally breaks, it is no longer silence. It is a storm. Emily lay on my couch, wincing with every breath. Mauve bruises blossomed along her ribs, finger-shaped, violent. Her lip was split, her cheeks swollen purple. I cleaned her wounds, my heartbeat a silent war drum in my ears. Every time she flinched, a new seed of rage sprouted inside me. Why didn't you call the police, baby? She wiped her eyes. He made sure I wouldn't. Her voice cracked. He said if I said a word, he'd ruin me, take everything. He has control of our accounts, Mom. He even has recordings, threats. And I don't have proof of anything. But I did not raise my daughter to bow to monsters. She fell asleep finally, exhaustion overwhelming pain. I sat beside her, holding her hand like I did when she was 5 and scared of thunderstorms. Only this time, the storm was mine. I got up, put on my coat, took my keys, and stepped back into the cold night. I was going to look the devil in the eye. Thomas answered his door shirtless, a wine glass in hand, music playing behind him. He smirked, not surprised, not apologetic, just annoyed to be interrupted. Well, the old woman arrives. He sipped. Come to retrieve your broken daughter? Broken. My nails bit into my palms. But anger, when harnessed, is power. Where is she supposed to be right now, Thomas? I asked quietly. He leaned against the frame lazily. At home. With me. Not at your sad little shack. There it was, his pride. Arrogance dulls caution. And the mistress? I pressed, voice steady as glass. He chuckled, unashamed. Oh, her name's Celine. Younger. Less nagging. Less needy. He let his eyes drift over me cruelly. You understand. Youth attracts power. In that moment, everything inside me stilled. Not rage. Not grief. Something deeper. Strategy. I left without a word, but as I walked away, something inside me clicked into place like a loaded gun. Thomas thought I was powerless. He was wrong. Revenge is not impulse. Revenge is architecture. I spent the next days quietly, methodically, building the trap. 1. I contacted 3 women Thomas dated years ago through old Facebook threads Emily once showed me. 2 responded. Both had been cheated on. 1 had been hit. 2. I hired a private investigator with the last of my savings. If Thomas had a mistress, there were messages, receipts, evidence. 3. I visited Emily's bank. A polite old lady in pearls goes unnoticed. I requested account audits, authorizations, transfer trails. Behind me, generations of mothers whispered, "Protect your child in ways she cannot protect herself." Within 9 days, I had everything. Screenshots of Thomas sending money to the mistress. Hotel bookings under aliases. Voice recordings from the women he'd hurt before. Even a video of him screaming at Emily in public 2 months ago, someone had captured it. And the final masterpiece. He'd forged Emily's signature to drain their joint investment account. He had committed fraud. And fraud does not vanish quietly. Emily didn't know what I was planning. She thought I was simply caring for her, cooking soup, helping her heal. She had no idea her mother was sewing together a war quilt, one piece of evidence at a time. When she felt strong enough to stand again, I made her tea, sat across from her, and placed a thick envelope on the table. "What's this?" she asked, voice timid. "Justice," I said. "No vengeance." Inside were printed emails, bank statements, photos, voice recordings transcribed and time-stamped. Emily stared, pupils trembling. "Mom, you did all this?" I reached over, held her face gently. "No one hurts you and walks free. Not while I breathe." She cried again, but these tears tasted different. They tasted like strength returning. We did not confront Thomas privately. Men like him thrive in shadows. So we dragged him into the light. Emily filed charges. Fraud, domestic assault, emotional abuse backed by witness statements, medical reports, and evidence. Our lawyer, God bless sympathetic attorneys, presented everything cleanly. In court, Thomas looked smaller. Not powerful. Not charming. Just a man cornered. His mistress, called to testify, broke under pressure and admitted everything, how he promised to leave Emily once he secured the house, the accounts, the inheritance I planned to give my daughter. Yes, he wanted control of my will. He never loved Emily. He loved what Emily came with. Me, my land, my money, my name. And I would have died one day, leaving my daughter defenseless against him. Not anymore. The judge's ruling came down like divine thunder. Emily granted full asset restoration. Protection order placed permanently. Thomas charged with felony fraud. His banking license revoked. He was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. But this? Merely justice. Revenge had not even begun. His mistress, poor foolish Celine, begged Emily for forgiveness. She thought she might salvage reputation, dignity, maybe keep a little of Thomas' money. Emily looked at her with new fire I helped ignite. "You helped him hurt me," she said. Celine nodded, trembling. "Yes, I know. I'm so sorry." Emily turned to me. "Mom, what now?" I opened my purse slowly, deliberately, pulling out the deed to Thomas' childhood home, a property he inherited, one had planned to pass to his mistress. Because during court proceedings, when the assets were frozen and evaluated, I used my savings, every penny, to acquire it legally through auction. A 72-year-old woman now owned the ground his memories were built on. I handed the papers to Emily. Her eyes widened. "You're giving it to me?" "No," I corrected softly. "We're burning it." That night, with legal clearance, demolition workers tore down the house plank by plank as Thomas watched from behind prison fencing, helpless. Not arson. Not illegal. A mother fully within her rights. His past collapsed. His future dissolved. All he had left was the memory of the woman he tried to destroy standing tall, unbroken, stronger than ever. Some say revenge is poison. Maybe. But sometimes poison is also medicine. After it was over, I sat in my garden again, tea in hand, roses swaying in morning wind. Emily moved in with me. She laughs more now. Sleeps without nightmares. She is healing not because justice was served, but because her mother became her sword. I am no longer just Mary Whitlock, widow in a quiet house. I am Mary, the woman who protects. The woman who fights. The woman who will not let evil win quietly. And if there's one thing I've learned in 72 years, it is this. Love is gentle. Until someone breaks what it holds. Then love becomes fire. And fire consumes everything in its path. I tell my story not for sympathy, but for women who whisper instead of roar. For mothers who fold their anger into silence. For daughters who think suffering quietly is strength. No, strength is standing again. Strength is exposing cruelty. Strength is taking back what was stolen piece by piece, breath by breath. At 1 a.m., my daughter collapsed at my door. But by dawn, her mother had risen. And I will burn the world before I let someone dim her light again.